second time for the Dr. Dan Show, and I have a guest today. Actually, a dear friend for many years. Way back. She still looks like a kid. Joanne Olivares.
Thank you.
It's old Oxnard family, right?
Yes,
And,
born and raised.
wow.
Born and raised here in Oxnard.
Just like the Contrerases, from original settlers in Southside where we live.
Ah.
Right.
Mine settled here in on 7th Street, Old China Alley.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what they call it, China Alley,
China
on
Alley.
A and 7th Street. That's where my
Yeah.
grandparents on my dad's side were.
I think we should have my mom here to help me. She has a lot of history too,
That'd be
because of
great.
the old Colonia, because everybody thinks Colonia is where it is now, but really it was 7th Street,
Yeah.
7th and Meta. That was the old original stomping grounds in the 20s and 30s. It wasn't, Colonia didn't really rise until 39, 40, around there.
Wow.
That's where I was born. But anyway, as far as history of Oxnard, there's different main families. Yours is one of the main ones. My family, the Villa side of me, my mom's side, the Villas, the Contrerases, the Ramirez's, different families. As far as where we're at today, 2014, there's a lot of issues that face us in Oxnard. And it's my town. I mean, live and die in Oxnard, right? And all that.
I hear you.
But we have a big population increase. We have business is kind of expanding throughout, and they're trying to really help out here in Oxnard, right? Particularly downtown. Do you see any particular, what do you call it, issues or things or
Yes,
obstacles maybe?
I see a lot of different things happening in Oxnard, especially with, as you say, businesses and the growth of Oxnard in many different areas. You know, we've got our city council is made up of a number of different people that are on the council that really need to engage themselves a little bit more in Oxnard, so they can appreciate, first of all, the history.
Yes, indeed.
And
indeed.
the history that really encompasses many of the old families that have now their children have come up throughout the years, and a lot of them have either gone into trades that are very important to this city or educational avenues. I know with my family, my father was a businessman way back when. He owned, remember Frank's Radio and TV on Woolley Road?
Yes, indeed. Oh, my God, yes.
And then he sold that in '69, and then he opened La Playa Cable, which is now Time Warner.
What can you do? What can you do?
And then he
appreciate.
Yeah, that's right. And so instilling in us and our children the need to get a better education and go out and get that education, and then come back to our community and contribute by way of many different avenues, whether it's being part of an organization,
Kind of like to be inspired, maybe,
right,
inspiration,
volunteerism,
motivation, and all that good stuff.
And I think that many of us, yourself and myself, who have, I mean, our heart is Oxnard. I mean,
Yes,
I love Oxnard. I mean, that's one of the biggest
Yeah.
things for me. So,
indeed.
I mean, I could go on, but I just.
Well, my point of view is there's different point of views that are trying to thrive in Oxnard, trying to direct it, and that's been some of the problems politically, like city council. You have divergent perspectives of how to do things, and how to build the downtown, how to make it thrive, and where everybody's happy for the most part. You got to have compromise and all that stuff, and I think sometimes some of the people we had through the years weren't as compromising as they should have been. And but there's a business side, there's a political side, there's different angles that all have to be dealt with, I think.
But I think that one of the biggest pieces is that, yes, they do have to be dealt with in many different aspects, but I think that one of the things that we're missing is we really need to look to our community. What is it that our community wants? We've got a lot of people in Oxnard, 200,000 people, and what is that community looking for? So I think we need to really focus on some of that.
Right.
and really take the time to focus on some of that, not just assume that our residents are happy with these things. And people say, well, they vote, they have their opportunity to go speak at city council, their opportunity to, not everybody's going to do that. That is our history. Our people do not go out and get in front of somebody's face and talk about those things. Some of us will, but that's a smaller group. So the city needs to find out. They need to make that effort and go out. Better customer service, let's say.
Ooh, yes.
Okay.
Yes, that sounds like a very...
Community relations, not just speak it, do it.
Maybe those who would feel comfortable getting their hands dirty and wet and the nuts and bolts of making a good business community, a good social community, and I don't know, I have my favorites, and some people, he wasn't that great, but I think Mayor Lopez was good.
Mm-hmm.
He had his limitations here and there, but on the overall, I was happy when he was there doing things. And people argue, well, he didn't, well, okay, yeah, he's not going to do everything.
That's right.
Yeah.
And he's a very compassionate person, and he's
Right.
a people person.
Yes.
Yes, he may not been out there boisterous and shoving it down your throat as many do, and he didn't have to do that.
Mhm.
So, like you said, people have their positives and their negatives, and we're not always going to make everybody happy. But you're right, he did a lot for this city. He contributed a lot of things to this city, and he continues to do that through the Harbor District. And the Harbor District in Oxnard is flourishing. They've really done a number of things, and they're bringing, the economy is really being affected by how well our Harbor District is doing and reaching out to those businesses.
Wow, yeah, Mayor Lopez. How about the young buck? She's not young, but I call her young buck. Ramirez. What's her first name?
Carmen.
Carmen.
Mm-hmm.
I like her. For the most part, I think I like her approach. She's a stand-up lady. Stand-up. She's going to deal with things. I have some faith in her to really be beneficial. She's become a dear friend in the last 6 months, all that stuff. Just in the last 6 months. Before I really didn't know who she was. But there's different levels of interaction. I think they have to come to be, and then let's get some perspectives or what do you call it, talking points. So they use that term, talking points, to what do we really want to do for Oxnard.
Yeah, and I don't think that, there's many things that we can talk about in terms of this community. Right now we're kind of focused on the city council, and probably because that's where everything begins. And it can, if a good city council can make some really great decisions. We've got a lot of people in this city. We're paying, whether it's our Measure O taxes or our taxes or our water or whatever the case may be.
Right.
Oxnard does bring in a lot of money, but if it's not being utilized well in terms of the decisions that the council is making, what good is are the people of Oxnard really getting out of all of that money that's being brought in? So we have to look back to our city council. What kinds of decisions are they making? Where are they focusing? And right now we're in the midst of looking for a new city manager.
Ooh, yes, that's another.
So we've got a lot of issues on the table. We've got a new city council person, very heavy, not heavy, hard-hitting, and I know that I watched the city council the other day, and where Bert Perello apologized at the end of the meeting, and he said, I know that something similar, like, I know sometimes I come off and I criticize, but we do criticize people, but we do have good people in this city and good workers, good employees for the city of Oxnard. Well, I'm a human resources professional. I have a master's in organizational management. And one of the things that I would never tolerate in any business is allowing anyone to belittle or come at a person in a very negative manner, because it's very unproductive. So I think that when you're dealing with, especially if you're sitting on city council, you've got to be more, you don't vote or on things just because because it's this group wants it, but you vote on it because it's good for the city. But you don't
Correct.
go after people either. You don't do that because in a position like that, you're going to, and as citizens of this city, you're going to open up legal issues that we're going to pay for. We saw it 2 Sundays ago in the newspaper that the city of Oxnard paid out for discrimination, sexual harassment,
Ooh,
these other,
yeah.
it was in the newspaper.
Yes.
So are we creating more of those legal issues in the city that we're going to pay for? So I think those are some of the things that, I kind of look at.
Hmm. Well, another aspect too is just, remember the mall? What's the mall on Gonzales Road?
Oh, this Carriage Square,
No.
the old mall?
No, it's the new one that was supposed to be, it's a dead fish right now. Not Gonzales, Walmart, across the street.
Oh, where the chicken, what is that,
Well, Social Security office there, they were there, Social Security. What's that mall? It was the newest mall. It was about
the outlet,
the outlet.
Oxnard outlet,
Okay.
that never came to fruition.
Right, and I got some feedback from dear Manuel Lopez on that, some of the politics were, how could they not follow through? They had this grand idea and it was supposed to really highlight Oxnard, and it was a mess, a total mess, and they just let it go. And it seems to be, I don't know, I can't say it seems to be, but there's an apparent, for me anyway, apparent lack of follow-through with it. I mean, if you're going to present an idea and everybody agrees we're going to do it, not just let it die off, which basically that mall just died. I mean, it was
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, we've done some of our historical historical areas in Oxnard, like the Performing Arts Center. That could have been something beautiful. And we have, somebody was just saying about places in Los Angeles that are beautiful cultural areas for the Latino community. And we talk about the Latino community because we're, 79% Latinos in this community.
At least.
So we need
At
to
least.
look at those things and have some of those areas really developed. I mean, that to me is a commitment that we need to make. But, it doesn't seem to be a priority. It doesn't seem to be a priority. Some of these historical areas they just go by the wayside. The focus was on, we did the collections. Let's put the money in the collections. So all of these other areas that should have been developed, or at one point were in the process of, have been kind of pushed off to the side, and let's focus over here. So, we need to, again, I can't blame the city council who has the power to make these decisions. I can't blame them because we as a community have to use our voice as our political force to get things done. And if we don't want to lose this history, this beautiful history that we have in Oxnard, which is a wonderful history in Oxnard, if we don't want to lose that as a community, we have to do something about that.
Seems to be an ongoing battle of good and evil, or not so much evil, but just, I mean, Oxnard we're kind of famous in many ways. Our young boxers from Oxnard have given us notoriety here in Oxnard or throughout the United States, throughout America.
And what do we do for them?
Not much.
That's right. We don't even give them a gym that is, that they can be proud of. Not even 50%. We don't do that either.
But overall, I mean, I'm using the sport thing, but a lot of great athletes in general from Oxnard. A lot of them that went to St. Bonaventure too. They were Oxnard athletes, but they got recruited. They're from Ventura. No, they're from Oxnard, born and raised, but they're different athletes.
Yeah.
But the other aspect that for me is like an irritant is the image, the overall image of, say, Oxnard versus Ventura. Oxnard, they think Oxnard, oh my God, they're just swamped with gang members on every block and this, oh my God. But that's what do you call it, the image, I guess you could say, and the stereotype. That was one of the problems with that mall too, the one, what was it called again?
The,
West side, west side.
Right, right.
North side of
it's the,
Oh, the outlet, oh my God.
Oxnard outlet.
I'm getting
Oxnard outlet.
senile here. But anyway, there's, we have to fight that negative image, because there's so many good things out of Oxnard, as you well agree. And, politically speaking, socially, culturally, different things that are going on, but not getting enough support maybe to really lift it higher to a higher level.
Getting our community involved. I think that's
Yeah,
one of the biggest,
maybe so.
one of the biggest issues that I see is that we, people care, but they care from behind closed doors in their houses. They don't want to come out, and get involved. And we need to. That's the only way we're going to get things done.
Yeah. And in that context too, human nature being with, a lot of times those same people are the ones that are arguing, well, Lopez didn't do that, but
Yeah.
they didn't really get involved at the time either.
Right,
or
right.
put the
No,
input.
it's, as far as Oxnard having a negative in terms of the gangs or the violence or whatever the case may be, it's like any other place, and we have to continue to work toward making it what it has been and what it could be, even a more wonderful place, because I don't see it I don't see the negative. I don't see the gang. I don't see, we just have to reach out to the police department and not work against them or fight them. We need to work with them so that we're getting the different programs. I know that right now Oxnard is getting, as much as Ventura, we have a huge homeless problem. I just opened up a new office on A Street, and behind me and right next to me is 2 empty lots. One of the most beautiful trees in the world sits on that empty lot, but it's full of people just kind of hanging out all day long. And then the homeless are right behind there. So we have to work with the city, with the police department, to try to see how we can work through these issues. Not by just saying you can't be here, but how can we work with them, or what kind of programs can we hook them up with to do something about that, as opposed to just saying you can't be there.
There's a lot of homeless.
Yes, there is.
What's that gal that works with them? Latina gal.
Oh, I know who you're talking.
She does a lot of good work.
Isn't she like the director of the homeless
Something. She does.
program?
She's one of them. She's on mark. She's on mark all the way. I personally got involved in a feeding, which was really a good reaffirmation of dealing with people that are down and out. It was a Thanksgiving thing, and it was held at the Casa Lopez.
Oh,
It was
wow.
a great thing, and I was kind of the door greeter. I was welcoming all the people. But I got to meet them. I shook most of their hands. Most people did. And just normal people in a way. But some were mentally problems, and you could tell there's a few. But the majority, just they're down and out. They're down and out.
That happens every single day at the rescue mission. They have two different times where they feed the families, and then they feed a lot of the homeless that come in, and it's very heartbreaking to see this young families coming in with their children, but the tables are full, and a lot of volunteers will go in there, and it doesn't take anything from us to sign up to participate in this homeless in the different meals that are served every single day at the rescue mission. It's a wonderful thing for us to do, but it's very necessary in this city. And again, we have to get more people involved in doing these things. I work. I deal with a group of women. We're just women. There's no organization. We're just friends. And every once in a while, and we haven't done it as much as we should, we'll call and say, can we go in and help? So there's like 4 or 5 of us that will go and, participate. And, we get more out of that than the rescue mission gets from us. We get more. We take away so much more by giving those few hours than the rescue mission gets.
I felt good that
that's
one
why I
day I
say
did the same thing.
if people would just get out of their houses and do an hour somewhere, they're going to get so much more than that hour.
That is a problem, because people, not all people, some people are really just
Some people don't-
self-oriented.
No, and some people just don't know where to start. And that's why I try to pull people in that will say, well, I don't know what to do. Well, you know, you can start here, here, here. So it's just, again, it's the communication, working through that and providing some some information, so.
That they get interested.
Mhm.
How do you get them interested?
Right, right.
Like I do a tutoring thing, and it's we used to have a lot of volunteers, but kind of they all died out, and I don't know, it's just me and one other lady, older lady, Carol, good person. But we should have, there's about maybe 20 kids and 2 tutors. That's not enough. Most of them need individual attention. But
Do you think that one of the things that we're missing in our community is that we do have several groups or organizations that are kind of doing the same thing?
yes,
And maybe if we would come together and organize it better, we would get so many more children the help that they need in the tutoring aspect, because we're bringing these, instead of doing it kind of, well, we're doing it over here and we're doing it over there. Well, why don't we, as a community, come together and say, okay, this is a tutoring program, or this is a program for food that we're going to be distributing, or, those types of things. So I think we're just sometimes too, what's the word, there's not a connection there, and we need more connections to be able to be more, so that we can do more with what we have.
maybe even the El Concilio group,
Yes.
which is a countywide group. That could be a
An avenue,
centerpiece,
right.
an avenue centerpiece.
Uh-huh.
But one problem too is, they call it ego. Everybody wants to have.
Check them at the door.
Right.
Check your ego at
At
the
the
door.
door, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
because
nicely
that's-
said, but
that's
unfortunately,
not,
it's not happening.
But if you get good people to work together, it's amazing what kind of barriers you break down. And people with, oh, I'm doing this and I'm doing that, even those can be broken down. And because if they're not broken down, that person is not going to stick around very long if you're not giving them all the kudos. So you know what? They weren't going to be contributing anyway.
Right.
So you get the people that really want to participate to stay and really have something to give and want to give from their heart.
Which kind of leads to the skill, I guess, not skill, or the aptitude of commitment amongst people that are leader types, and then everyone that, if they're not committed, they die off. Die off in a week.
Yeah, and you know what, and I think that in that sense, that one of the things that people have to know about themselves is not overextending and commit to what you can do. Because if you overcommit, then you're not going to get anything done, And people have to know themselves, because you get involved in too many organizations, you can't do it all. So be committed to something that you're going to really, you have the passion for, and really give your all to that. And when you do that, and you have that enthusiasm, you end up bringing more people that want to participate.
Hope this show will help. Get some people perked up. Oh, yeah, very good. It's hard. Motivation is really hard to instill sometimes, but it can be done. It can be done. And,
That's why employers have so many problems, because some of them just can't motivate their employees.
Yes.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just, like one person like me. I have 2 homeless people, one Mexican, one black. They're my buddies. They're my friends, and they're my obligation. If you want to say that. Today, in fact, I've just met. He likes Carlos, but his name's Chuck. But he goes Carlos King. All right, Carlos Santana. But we have a relationship. It's a friendship, and so it's simple as that. I mean, you just take the initiative.
Right.
You got to take the initiative sometimes.
It doesn't have to be anything big.
But, well, we'll finalize, I guess, and it's really good to have you here, Joanne.
Thank you for having me.
You're
I
my
appreciate
old,
it.
not old, but
That's right.
but long-term
Hey.
friend, and compañera, and all the good things.
Thank you.
All the good things. Well, thank you for listening to our show, and we'll be back again soon with another topic.